Thinking aloud. Conversations on the leading edge of knowledge and discovery with psychologist Jeffrey Mishlove.
You know, these days in parapsychology, I think it's widely understood that any experiment is a whole system. We don't know whether the experimenters or other observers might be exerting a psychic influence on the experiment.
Exactly. Now let me give you some examples. When I'm mostly, my background's in theoretical physics, but I've done a lot of experiments. I had a whole chem lab. I built telescopes and cloud chambers, and I started building rockets, but then I went to college and didn't have time to get into that. But I've worked with a number of groups, both as a theoretical collaboration and experimental. And my idea with working with the accelerator at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, the Bevatron, which no longer exists, is why not PK a particle? Mm-hmm. So you need to choose a particle. So I was going to do a Lee-Wicks vacuum state, see if I could get the grad students to PK it, and then we get a bigger grant. Well, it was partially a joke. Yeah. But I did do some experiments with influencing the rate of radioactive decay. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think every experiment has a psychic component. Now, of course, electronics, everything is hardened against psychic influence. It's linear. So the more nonlinear a system is, like a living system, mm-hmm. the more subject it is to influence by external mind effects. Mm-hmm. And so what I did is I did a 6-hour experiment, mm-hmm. and I'd have them concentrate for 15 minutes, and I have them agree to slow down the rate of radioactive decay. Mm-hmm. So they all agreed to that, so mm-hmm. the effect would be similar. Yes. Then I ran them around the hall so they wouldn't think about it in between, and then do another 15-minute session. So I got about a 4% effect. Mm-hmm. But there is a literature where there is deviation from the rate of radioactive decay, and it all bridges between about 2 to 5%. It's mm-hmm. very interesting. Yeah. With different different ways of doing it.
There's now quite a large literature on,
yes.
that sort of phenomenon. It's typically called micropsychokinesis.
Right. And I would say in the groups that worked at the Bevatron, there were some groups that just clicked. They really cooperated, mm-hmm. and they worked well together, and others that didn't. And the difference in all factors, like the background noise and mm-hmm. so forth, was majorly affected. I mean, mm-hmm. So I'm not sure that you can't do an experiment and completely exclude psi. Uh-huh. Because I asked the students and the professors, I said, what's your purpose in doing this experiment, the Bevatron experiments? Mm-hmm. And they said, I have no purpose. And I said, no, I don't believe that. I mean, you know, like the grad students, you want a PhD. Whether you want to prove it to your girlfriend you're smart, or your parents, or whatever, or get a job, or you love physics, there's always a motive. Mm-hmm. And that's very critical to look at in any of these experiments.
The human element.
The human element and all the humans involved mm-hmm. in their intentions.
Yeah. Well, we